This man's out of order. The mayor did nothing about it. The mayor did nothing about it. He never called this man out of order. And if you're the one creating the circus, get your hand away from me. Get your hand away from me. Look at this.
You could de-escalate too. You could de-escalate too.
He came up to me. He engaged. He engaged. I don't need him putting his hand in front of my face. I don't need you putting your hand. I don't need you coming up to me. Last time I got arrested was at a meeting. Right? No, it's fine. I have a federal lawsuit.
If everyone had to conform to how they want people to behave and tell you have to stand straight and act like this, if you can't bring attention to issues,
but to your
through
point,
a performative,
if you want to make a point, right? How is anybody going to hear you?
I have to stop talking for legal reasons here, with all my love in my heart for everyone here. And I do believe it's your misunderstanding, not your fault of your own, but your misunderstanding.
The township ordinance is very clear. It says no person. It doesn't say anybody at the stand during public comment. It doesn't say that.
I don't want to make legal comment other than I believe it's your misunderstanding.
What just happened? Like, I honestly, I just want to understand. Somebody stood up, a couple people stood up and turned off the music. Now, I understand you had some rules that maybe were broken or whatever, but who are people to come and do that?
When speech is filtered, framed out, and meetings being adjourned during Will's speaking time, the message is clear. Participation is only tolerated when it's convenient. In that environment, Will's decision to actively ignore the council instead of hoping to receive answers or acknowledgments of the issues raised isn't idiotic or arrogance. It's efficiency. Why perform for an audience that has already decided not to listen? Ignoring this council became the only honest response to a process that treats public input as a nuisance rather than a responsibility. And for the remainder of my presentation, I too will completely ignore you. It is my honor to present to you the key to the township of Cranford. Will Thilly please come and grab your award? You earned it.
Welcome to Social Justice Water Pipe.
YouTube world, hello and welcome. Welcome to Social Justice Water Pipe on YouTube. All right. So let's get my microphone going. All right, so we are live here in Cranford with the legendary Will Thilly. Yes, last time when we were here, we did Dance Party Protest number 5, and it was thrilling. I enjoyed every bit of it. Last time was my first time here in Cranford. My reason for coming was to show support to Will Thilly, who at the meeting prior to the last one, the council had adjourned it and decided to go to recess because Will was spinning a beach ball, and there at that point, I think they were just fed up with him. So they made an incredibly unwise decision to decide to shut the meeting down. Since then, Will has filed a lawsuit against the township. So that was my reasoning for coming here last time, and that is my reasoning for being here again, to support Will Thilly and express ourselves however we choose. You know, Will's doing a dance party protest. So last time I did a song, he did a great performance. You know, at this point, I want to say it's wild that these meetings are actually free, considering the type of entertainment that you get from Will. His performance art during his speaking time at the podium, to me, is like the most incredible thing to witness. Even if something makes them feel uncomfortable, people have a right to do it. People have a right to freedom of speech. They have a right to freedom of the press. They have a right to come to these meetings and record them if they choose so, and document what's going on. Let's turn this around. Let's get started.
Public comments pursuant to the Code of the Township of Cranford, Article 1, Section 72-4. Persons addressing the Township Committee shall be allowed a maximum of 5 minutes for their presentations. I will like to just state that we spoke in workshop briefly. We will be enforcing that you need to stay at the podium for your comments. There will be no dancing around the chambers. and no additional amplifying of sound with music and such that will possibly cut off the feed for people watching at home and just makes a difficult meeting for everybody. Thank you.
Yeah.
Out in the street, they call it murder.
Mr. Thilly, you're being warned right now that you're in violation. Mr. Thilly, there's your second warning. Mr. Thilly, there's your second warning. Mr. Thilly, there's your third warning. If you don't stop, you're going to be removed from the meeting.
You're the one who's always complaining about, let's all get together and talk and be nice and be friendly. You are doing the total opposite by making everybody uncomfortable.
You're out of order, sir.
This is great.
Mr. Thilly, if you want to come up to the microphone and speak, you're more than welcome. If not, you're going to be asked to leave the meeting. Is there anybody else who wants to speak?
I'm still going to play the tape down. Excuse me. Don't touch my property.
Don't turn it on.
Really? Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for a brief adjournment.
Well, there's another man up there, right?
No, let's just do it.
I'll second that motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Officer, why aren't you stopping him for touching his property?
Who's destroying property?
Touching. Open your ears.
Excuse me?
You heard what I
can't hear you.
said. You're being extremely rude. You were out of order the entire time when you decided to speak. You were out of order the entire time when you opened up your mouth. You have no right to speak during a meeting when somebody else is. You have no right to speak during a meeting when it is not your time to speak. This man's out of order. The mayor did nothing about it. The mayor did nothing about it. He never called this man out of order. And if you're the one creating the circus.
We don't need the back and forth.
Keep your hands to yourself. You don't touch property that doesn't belong to you, and you don't speak out of turn. Simple rules, sir. Simple rules.
Hey, now just be nice and hold his bed.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it, officer. What are you doing?
Let me just explain to you. Let me explain to you. It's very clear, the township ordinance is very clear.
It's not, that's factually untrue.
Mr. Thilly, please leave the meeting.
I'm not interested in this.
I think you've embarrassed yourself enough for today.
Seriously.
Mayor, why wouldn't you call that guy out of order for speaking like that? You let him speak the whole time? If you want privacy, go create it.
We adjourn the meeting so we can recess. We're going to come back in a minute.
No, you can go step away from me. If you want privacy, go create it. I'm allowed to stand here. You want privacy? Go create it. Go behind the door and close it. You're the one who's responding all in the wrong ways. You're creating the circus.
Sir, that's enough.
Now, I can say whatever I want. There's no meeting right now. You're going to tell me I can't speak?
Who are you filming for, anyway?
Don't worry about who I'm filming for.
I'm worried about it because you're putting me
I-
on your camera.
Get your hand away from me! Get
wanna
your
know
hand
who
away
you're
from me.
filming for.
Look at this.
You could de-escalate
I
too.
want
You
to
could
know who you're
de-escalate
filming
He came up to me. He engaged. He engaged. I don't need him putting his hand in front of my face. I don't need you putting your hand. I don't need you coming up to me. What is he doing coming up to me?
You can film.
Listen.
Yeah, but I don't like the way you just grabbed me. You can put your hand on me and say, "Sir."
Just moving you out of the area.
But you don't need to grab me like that. That was a forceful pull.
Well,
I understand
You're trying to separate people.
that's fine, but next time,
We understand that you're trying to.
that works, okay? Because when I see you all geared up like that and you pull me like that, right? The next thing I'm thinking is, last time I got arrested was at a meeting. Right? No, it's fine. I have a federal lawsuit. So I'm fine with that. So what I'm saying is when I'm at a meeting and an officer grabs me the way you just did, it's very alarming. So I'm saying next time that is okay, all right?
I did it
Why are you
first,
pushing
but
my...
you didn't feel it, so.
Well, I'm just saying, he came
all
up,
good.
he engaged with me, right? I didn't engage with him, and then he puts his hand up in my camera like that. So that's going to upset anybody, right? I have my journalist pass, I'm with the press,
Right.
I always have my identifiable badge with me.
That's great.
So there's no reason to come at me.
And he knows that you're allowed to film at this stuff, so.
And you decided to act like a child.
We're just trying to avoid conflict, that's all.
No, I understand, but you really should go up to the person who's engaging the other party.
Well,
Because I'm keeping it to myself.
I understand.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely
What
ridiculous.
is your name, by the way? I didn't get to meet you.
I don't share my name with government because I have a Fourth Amendment right to remain secure and my person's papers are facts. With all due respect.
Just trying to be respectful and talk to you.
No, I understand, but you can talk to me without trying to get my information, without trying to extract who I am and everything like that, because with all due respect, right? I don't have to share my communications with government. The same reason why I come to meetings and I don't give my name or my address, because I have a First Amendment right to freedom of speech. Government can't force me to give, they can't force my speech, because then we would have forced speech.
That's right.
We go to meetings for years and years and years, and I don't give my name and my address.
We're on the same page about
And it's not because I'm not being proud of who I am. It's to show everybody that we have rights and make sure that everybody remembers
just
that.
about it.
We're resigning when Patty's rights.
Thank you, son. Come in.
Thank you for being professional. Where did Will go?
Understand? I'm gonna let my attorneys handle this.
That's fine. That's
No,
fine.
I understand. I'm not gonna say anything, even though I think I'll just between you and I believe your misunderstanding. Ordinance does not pertain to public comment. Okay, that's for the rest of the meeting. However, I'm not a legal person. I know my rights, and I believe it's misunderstood. The ordinance you were reading does not pertain
It says
to
no
public
person.
comment. That's not during the public comment.
It does not specify that. It just says
It does.
no person.
This is the general understanding. I don't want to make claims, legal claims, but I believe 100% that's being misunderstood. So, I mean, if they're not going to let me finish my 5 minutes,
No, they will let you finish your 5 minutes.
well, I want to do it how I want.
But
Right. If they're not going to permit me to do that, then I, with absolute respect for everyone, believe they're 100%. They don't understand the law, and they're absolutely violating my public First Amendment rights. To tell me how to do how I use my public comment. But I appreciate that. We have a right. You understand to protest.
100%.
If I have to, if everyone had to conform to how they want people to behave and tell you have to stand straight and act like this, if you can't bring attention to issues,
But to your
through a
point, too,
performative.
if you want to make a point, right? How is anybody going to hear you
I
over
have
the
to.
music?
I have to stop talking for legal reasons here, with all my love in my heart for everyone here. And I do believe it's your misunderstanding, not your fault of your own, but you're
The
misunderstanding
township
the law.
ordinance is very clear. It says no person. It doesn't
Well,
say
like I
anybody
said,
at the stand
this
during
is-
public
this-
comment. It doesn't say that.
I don't want to make legal comment other than I believe it's your misunderstanding.
That's fine.
But-
And I would love for you to go back in
No, I
there
appreciate
and
it.
explain your point.
I'm not
here,
gonna,
just
I'm not
about
gonna,
music.
this is, once again, they have absolutely violated First Amendment rights. But I'm gonna not do anything.
I'm gonna
If they're not gonna let me go speak yet, that's
Mr.
that.
Thilly, you have to understand. I can't allow you to play the music.
I'm not gonna go turn on my music. If you guys are saying if I turn on the music during look, I only have 5 minutes, right? That time's passed, they've already violated my 5 minutes. I was not intending to go speak anymore tonight, after what they did. They have, in my opinion, once again, completely violated my First Amendment rights. They have not let me, speak at my 5 minute time, once again, okay?
Will, I need you for my public comment.
Let me just tell you, hold on. Just wait before you go. 1 second. We just want to make sure that you have that there's an understanding. I know he's supposed to use the sergeant. He has more right to me. We just want to make sure that there's understanding before you go off with this gentleman right here, right? We all in the grants that he read.
All I need to know is, when are the police been told to step in and remove me? If I play music, what is the rule? If you have a rule like that, I don't know.
Like I read the township ordinance to you, okay? So playing the music.
My 5 minutes, as far as I know, they have stopped my 5 minutes. They have violated. I'm done.
Okay.
Speaking,
No,
and I only ever
they-
speak in
they
these
will-
meetings during my
I
public
talked to-
comment.
I talked to the mayor.
That's it.
They'll let you go back in there.
No.
But you just can't play the music.
No, I refuse to do that. No, that's not.
Mr. Thilly, I'm
No,
just an
I know.
enforcer of laws, that's all it is.
I know
The
that.
township ordinance is
Tell me
very
what
clear,
you
sir.
would like me to do.
I would love for you to go in there and make your point.
I'm not gonna go
via-
speak.
Via like your words.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go speak via my word. My point is how I want to make it, and that's been squashed and in my, completely violated my, they're not letting me.
They're
make my
letting-
point.
they're-
No, they're not. They're telling me how to do it. That's.
Because you want to go with the music.
I wanna do how I wanna do it.
Okay.
I don't
all
wanna
right,
be
we
told
got
how
it.
I express myself, how I protest.
You're allowed to.
However, so at this point, they have stopped me in my 5 minute period, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to.
No, they're
go continue.
allowing you
They
to
are
go back
allowing
in.
you
No,
to
they're
go
not.
back and speak.
No,
I just spoke with the
yes,
mayor.
I understand they will allow me to do things under their terms. I want, that's not, that's like taking away all my First Amendment rights and telling me you can only do.
No, they're saying that you could speak.
I appreciate it.
You could use
I
your
will,
words and
no,
whatnot.
not the way they want me to.
Like the
No.
gentleman had said before, right?
No, I appreciate
There's
it.
a certain decorum
No.
here with township meetings.
No.
And the decorum is that you use your words, you get across your point using your words,
They're-
and not by disrupting the meeting
It's not,
with loud
it's
music.
not, listen.
Again,
No,
sir,
no.
I fully support you.
No,
I think the
I
First
just-
Amendment is the most important
I
thing.
appreciate,
and
no, I appreciate
I'm
you.
very hesitant to even.
You're wonderful. I think you feel there's kind of like limitations on the First Amendment, such as you're not allowed to dance, you're not allowed to sing or use music.
No, clearly that's not a
Okay.
that's not a violation.
Well,
but the meeting
well,
has decorum, right? There's
Okay,
a certain
you
decorum
believe
of the
you
meeting.
believe there's a certain decorum which
That's
should be
with-
followed.
it's very
respect
black and
that.
white, sir.
I respect that. However, I do not agree with what you define as that decorum. I believe what I'm doing.
I
is
did not define that, sir.
No, I understand. I believe my decorum is wonderful. I think it's the best decorum. In fact, it really bringing exposure like this town's never seen to the issues that are happening here. So I think they should be thanking me, honestly. And if they were smart, they would embrace what we're doing and really help out our town, which they have the ability to do. If they keep fighting my First Amendment rights, they're really hurting. I'm trying to help. So, but I listen. No, I understand. I understand.
So again,
I can go speak.
I'm not.
No.
I'm not a mouthpiece for the township committee. What I am doing is I have to enforce the laws here.
I understand.
It's very clear in the township ordinance.
I am not. Listen, if you are saying
And
you
I would
will
love
not
for
allow
you-
me to turn, I'm not going to go turn the music now.
Okay,
I'm
so
done with my public
I'd
comment.
love for you to go back there and speak.
I'm not going to speak.
As to what you would like to
I'm
say.
not going to speak.
Okay.
They
That's
are
all.
allowing you.
They are, but just
I
so for the record, they are allowed.
They're allowing me to do what they want me to do. Yes, I
Just
understand.
to use
I
your
understand
words
they are telling
in
me
the
yes.
spirit of the
No,
First
I
Amendment.
will use there's much more to the First Amendment than words. However,
I
I'm not.
don't
yes, I'm
disagree
not-
with you.
No,
I
I'm
don't
not-
disagree with you.
No, listen.
All right.
I'm not
There's
going
a
to
decorum.
speak. They have stopped my comments, so I'm done. I appreciate it. Sorry.
I'm gonna go next.
Now, before we get back to the rest of the meeting, let's take a moment and break down what just happened and find out exactly who these two men are who decided to interrupt the meeting by means of physical interference. The old, half-retarded-looking dinosaur who repeatedly shut Will's music off goes by the name of Andrew Burns of Cranford, New Jersey. In New Jersey, a person commits a disorderly offense if they physically interfere or obstruct a public meeting with the purpose of disrupting it under the statute N.J.S.A. 2C33-8. Why wasn't those little T-Rex arms of his placed in handcuffs by the Cranford police for his deliberate actions to continually disrupt Will's speaking time during public comments? I myself was charged with this offense for simply filming a meeting in Violate, New Jersey without prior permission. And many of you know I represented myself pro se, and my motion for dismissal was granted, and the judge ordered my arrest to be immediately expunged, which resulted in a federal 1983 deprivation of civil rights lawsuit being filed against Violate by my attorney on April 1st of 2025. Now let's examine this asshole's partner in crime who flicked me off for no reason whatsoever, who fears being on video while attending a public meeting. These meetings are broadcasted on the township's YouTube page, and there are countless surveillance cameras riddled in and outside the municipal building in Cranford. This man's name is Tom Usinowicz. Tom, much like a child without proper guidance and manners, appears to have developed some type of character flaw over his years of not keeping his hands to himself, just like asshole Andrew. In Tom's case, I recorded him being the complete asshole that he is, getting out of his seat and barking orders at will like a naggy little chihuahua. The public broadcast didn't capture his actions, since he was out of view of the township recording. decided the best idea was to approach me from across the room and place his hand over the lens of my camcorder with a push in my direction. In New Jersey, the unwanted touching in that exact manner can result in a harassment charge under the statute of N.J.S.A. 2C33-4. The courts generally view pushing an object that someone is holding is considered an extension of their body and space and can result in charges being filed. Why did Mayor Curran decide not to call this douchebag out of order for his constant speaking during Will's time? You are about to hear during the next speaker's time at the podium, the mayor saying there was nothing he could do about what was taking place with these trash bags in the back of the room. One can only assume that the mayor never intended to stop their actions as he continues to violate Will's rights while ignoring the involvement of other attendees of the meeting breaking the law. What I find most interesting about this shallow, low-life excuse for a man is that he fancies himself as a local artist in Cranford who creates art that seemingly only a baby would enjoy while hating on Will's legendary performance art, accompanied by his political statements of ignoring the council. Here is an example of Tom's work. This piece of shit Tom created entitled Slice of Life 2023. Could you imagine walking into someone's beautiful home just to glare over at their accent wall and see this baby art hanging on the wall? My first thought would be, that's very nice of you to display your elementary school child's attempt at replicating a retarded bird. Now, after we have identified who Dumb and Dumber is, and dealt with a swarm of police officers swarming the council chambers, and laws being broken by these two morons, and Mayor Curran as well, let's get back to this shitstorm of a meeting. I had the incredible privilege to award the key to the city of Cranford to Will Thilly, and this is the first meeting that I ever read from a pre-written speech.
Good evening. John Sobosinski, 32 Iroquois Road. Been in Cranford since 1983. Raised 8 kids, like I said, back in September. My last daughter just graduated college, so I got 8 out of college now. Great town. We have a big family, and we have disagreements from time to time. Things happen, things are said, kind of like just what happened a few minutes ago. And it's like we have a disagreement, we have things happen, and we go back to just like nothing happened. Huh? Like what just happened? Like I honestly, I just want to understand. Somebody stood up, a couple people stood up and turned off the music. Now I understand you had some rules that maybe were broken or whatever, but who are people to come and do that? I had someone yelling Cooper, and I don't even know who Cooper is, but who's Cooper to go turn music off? It bothered me because it doesn't make sense. Somebody needs to explain what just happened, because I don't know. Could you guys help me with that? Like, how do we just continue after police come in and then we just go on?
Don't fuck with me.
But nothing was said. Could someone explain to me and I mean this, I really don't understand how we just continue and nothing was said, what just happened?
I'll explain it very simply, right? So there's somebody who wants to make a spectacle out of this. We have rules. We try to follow a little bit of decorum. So we stated those rules very simply in the beginning of the meeting. They weren't followed. We asked him 3 times. He's allowed to come up and say whatever he wants, as the next speaker will likely show. You can say whatever you want. But you have to have some level of civility here. People are in the audience. A lot of people get up and leave these meetings because of what's been going on here for the past few months. And I think the entire committee has been very tolerant of what's been going on, but there's no speech there. That's just pure spectacle, and he has not made one point since he's become viral. There's people sitting in the back of this audience, and all they care about is being viral. I'm not really interested in that. I think it's all nonsense, and I have a few other words that I won't use. But what we're here for is the business of Cranford. We're talking about serious issues, trying to do the business of Cranford and make this a great place to live and keep it a great place to live. So at some point, the nonsense has to stop, and that's what happened tonight. The nonsense has to stop.
I get that, but is it okay for just people to stand up and stop someone outside of you guys or the police?
I don't have control over that, okay? So, that's up to them, and they can deal with that. That's not
Someone could stop me
anything
right now.
that I did, right?
That's
So.
not fair. Thank you. Thank you.
Just before you get started, sir, I would like to just address something you said earlier about who turned off the music. You mentioned Mr. Cooper's name. That was not Mr. Cooper who was back there. So I just wanted to I understand, but I just wanted to be clear on that. All right.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. That was a hell of a response, Mr. Mayor. Wild. Wild that you say you can't do nothing about people who are back there touching people's property. You said you couldn't do nothing about it, but you're the presider over this meeting. In the beginning of this meeting, when every single resident started shouting out, the second that Mr. Thilly says something, you want to give him a warning.
Sir, he didn't. I started the clock late. That was my fault. But that's not how public comment works.
Follow the rules like everybody else.
Mr. Sands, you called before and you knew the rules. So you're deliberately and purposely for political reasons trying. Mr. Thilly, you're out of order. That's your first warning.
You want to make up arbitrary rules tonight to try to disallow something he did last meeting. Do you understand how this works? Decorum makes no sense. And if you wanted to enforce decorum rules like that, it would have to be put up for a vote. It's amazing how you could be in public service and not know these kinds of things. It's wild. But tonight we had a recognition. It's not the only recognition. Tonight we have another recognition, and I want to start by saying tonight we're all gathered here to present the key to the Township of Cranford, New Jersey, to a man who has achieved a rare level of civic enlightenment. A man who did not begin by ignoring the council, but arrived there through experience, through repetition, through countless meetings of speaking, waiting, hoping, and being met with what only can be described as Olympic-level deafness. That man is Will Thilly. You see, Will, like many other residents, once came to these meetings with a sincere belief that someone up here might be listening. He addressed the council directly. Questions remained unanswered, points unaddressed, concerns received and promptly forgotten. That kind of silence teaches you something important. Sometimes you're not unheard because you're unclear. You're unheard because no one intends on listening. And so, Will adapted. What we now witness during public comment is not a disregard, it is an evolution, a strategic decision to stop wasting time and breath on people who have demonstrated they are not worth either. If the council won't listen, then why speak to them at all? Faced with a system that treats public participation as a formality rather than a conversation, Will made a deliberate and commemorable choice. He turned outward. Instead of directing his words at the council that rarely responds, he chose to engage with the people who actually show up, who listen and care. By acknowledging the audience, neighbors, residents, and fellow participants, he recentered public comment on its original purpose, community involvement. That decision deserves recognition. It reframes the podium not as a place to plead for approval, but as a shared civic space where voices are validated simply by being heard. In doing so, Will elevated participation himself. At a certain point, ignoring the council stops being disrespectful and starts being rational. A body that refuses to answer questions declines to engage and responds to public comment, not with dialogue, but with mute buttons, mysteriously vanishing camera angles, and censorship, forfeits its claim to relevance. When speech is filtered, framed out, and meetings being adjourned during Will's speaking time, the message is clear. Participation is only tolerated when it's convenient. In that environment, Will's decision to actively ignore the council instead of hoping to receive answers or acknowledgments of the issues raised isn't idiotic or arrogance. It's efficiency. Why perform for an audience that has already decided not to listen? Ignoring this council became the only honest response to a process that treats public input as a nuisance rather than a responsibility. The key to the city is a symbol of honor and recognition. In Will's case, it also acknowledges persistence. The kind that keeps showing up regardless of members of this board ignoring him. The kind that refuses to quit. The kind that understands its own worth. So tonight, members of the Township Committee, it feels only appropriate to return the favor, and for the remainder of my presentation, I too will completely ignore you. Because this moment, like Will's time behind this podium, is not necessarily about you. Will Thilly, on behalf of the Township of Cranford, its residents and participants in meetings across the great state of New Jersey, and anyone who has ever spoken into a council meeting microphone wondering if it was even on, I would like to personally say thank you. Thank you for reminding us that this civic engagement doesn't require permission, validation, or traditional public input to matter. It is my honor to present to you the key to the Township of Cranford. Will Thilly please come and grab your award? You earned it. Here's buddy. You want to say anything for the last couple seconds?
Thank you. Thank you all.
Sir, can you say your first and last name and address, please?
Not for government, I won't.
So I will say that Mr. Thilly's been coming to these meetings for many years. We've met with him. Different commissioners have met with him and explained different issues in terms of pilots, in terms of many different issues that he's asked about. And then he would come and continually misrepresent the facts here. So at some point, people get up and they say the same thing over and over again. That's not true. They blatantly lie to other residents. So at that point, you tend not to want to engage with them because they are not actually acting in good faith, which is exactly what Mr. Thilly has done for many years.
Mr. Mayor, when you're talking about the nonsense, I didn't know what else to do. I actually talked to Mr. Thilly, and I thought maybe we could sing the YMCA, but instead of singing YMCA, we would sing Why Close Our Pool? And in his defense, he said, you know what? They hate me, and I don't want to do anything to hurt the movement to try to save the pools. And that made me respect him. He does have the respect of 1,700 people who voted for him that thought he'd do a better job than some of you. I didn't vote for him, but I respect him. I'm shaking.
Hang on, I gotta re-update you guys here. I gotta update you guys. Holy shit. You guys seen that? You guys see what happened? Wild. Come turn it off. None at all. And he says that he couldn't do anything about it. He's running the meeting. He's calling people out of order whenever he sees it fit. At any moment, he was supposed to step in and say, please don't touch his equipment and handle it like an adult. If he wanted to tell me he wasn't allowed to do
What's
it.
to stop someone from stopping me from talking or you from talking? The person getting up and being
When they respond like this, that's what creates the circus.
It seemed like to me it was different.
Yes, a plant. We need people to come up and.
Well,
They have like 4 plants.
Burn, I don't know.
They did.
Yes, oh, yeah.
The older guy.
Always.
The veteran guy, okay, He shut it off like twice.
And then the other guy was Usinowitz, who I called out once previously by name because he was giving me a hard time. I agree with you. I don't, as I told Will, I don't always enjoy your performances, but that's not the point. You can't have another private citizen getting up there and interrupting occurrences.
Yeah.
It has no.
You know, it got weird quick, you know?
Well, you were videotaping the whole thing.
Oh, I got it all on record, yeah. I got it all on record.
Show yourself.
Social Justice Water Pipe on YouTube. It's a YouTube channel, yeah. Social Justice Water Pipe. You Here's the my press credentials that I always
Will
bring.
this be on-
I always bring
will
this.
this be on-
Oh yeah, I record all. Yeah, even like last meeting, there's a video I made.
Well, you know, and it's even worse with when you, I liked how you pulled your anonymous thing last time. It's even worse. You know, their home addresses and business addresses are now hidden.
Yeah, Daniel's law.
Exactly.
Right.
But it was supposed to be just for highfalutin people.
Court,
and
yeah,
now it's
judges.
everybody.
Right, right.
So I bring that up from time. That's
Right.
why I don't do my address. Everybody knows where I live and everybody knows.
Well, in this day and age, it's kind of like if you really want to protect your home, your like livelihood, and like you shouldn't really give your address because since I do the independent journalism stuff, I have a lot of other people in that line of work. And my one friend Pat Duck down in Medford, he uncovered Oprah. He emailed that Oprah all the emails, and it turned out that when people came out and spoke against the budget, disagreed with some of the things the council was doing, they sent code enforcement over. Go check it out. Give him a ticket for his grass. Go look in the back of it. So there has been plenty of documented stuff of them retaliated. And the reason why I don't give my name is because it's a simple concept of every municipality in New Jersey has to legally set aside a public portion, right? So when I step up to the microphone, my First Amendment kicks in. You can't force my speech. You can't force me to say something. If you want to say nothing, you want to say whatever. And I do that to remind everybody that we have rights. Kind of get a baseline again,
Well, if you recall, Thilly started out, other than his normal speeches, on just stand for 5 minutes silently.
Right.
They wouldn't let him do that.
Right.
They tried to stop him.
Well,
I think he got it.
Against the rules for music.
No, because it's expression.
That's what I don't.
Well, constitutionally,
Well,
it's not.
Constitution, right.
But in their
See,
law.
now, they'll come up with, but is it though? But is it? Do they have rules?
These guys are stuck in the middle.
But do they actually have rules of decorum with those things listed? Do they actually have
I
those
think he
kinds of
was
things?
reading the resolution about the court. He could hear us chattering, so he's nodding along.
Is there a resolution for decorum or an ordinance? What does it say? Because I'd be curious to know, because, personally, I don't think decorum makes any sense, but I should know if there's an ordinance on it. Well,
So it's supposed to be.
the mayor presiding over it.
It says specifically this is the length of presentation, right? So the length of the presentation, maximum 5 minutes. It goes down with disorderly conduct. It says no person in the audience shall engage in disorderly conduct such as hand clapping, stamping of feet, whistling, using profane language, shouting, or other similar demonstrations which may disturb the peace and order of the township community.
And the point that I was making before was, so last meeting, he did his thing with the rate, with the music, this and that, right?
Mhm.
So then this time they say, oh, we will not be allowing that. You can't arbitrarily make up a rule when it happened last time. That's a big problem.
I'm not gonna get into the politics of this.
Oh, and I'm only voicing, thank you for sharing. The ordinance, when you put the decorum makes no sense. Constitution makes zero sense. Well, that's the point.
Will Thilly make the council look twice?